Hello, friends. We're back again on Into Form, this channel.
And
And I'm Paul.
I'm Jimmy.
And yeah, we're just gonna riff today
Uh,
about love.
hmm. Yeah, we were just vibing for quite a bit. So just to let you in, get some insider information before we start these videos, me and Paul usually just sit on the call for a minute and kind of get clear about what we want to talk about.
Except this time it
Not
was an
not all the
hate
details. Yeah, except this time it was an hour.
to be an
I,
hour.
I played a song. There was an emotional process. There was a lot going on. We we had a lot happening the past hour. A lot of comedy, humor, and but what we landed on to like share is me and Paul. We sit here in front of you and we talk a lot of talk. We talk about a lot of things and a lot of concepts and philosophies, and yeah, we pull from ancient philosophies. We pull from just our own experience, and all of that is great and dandy. And also I think I personally in my life am endeavoring to acknowledge more and more that I don't know anything, that everything that I think I know or that I believe is just a belief. It's just a concept. It's a thought. Um, and in reality, I know I'm sitting in somewhere in a very very large
Mm,
experience of everything, whatever it is. I just know that I'm not that big in the grand scheme of potential awareness. And yeah, so for me it's important to just remain grounded, and that I don't need to know very much here, uh as much as like I'd like to endeavor into exploring the spiritual realms and the cosmic unknown. It's like fun for me, but to remember that can be treated as a hobby, and what's most important is to just show up in practical, really just like be a good person, like share love, create good experience, like help myself and those around me feel good, like to have an enjoyable experience, to have an enjoyable life. Like at a core, I feel like that's what's most important, is do what I love, create, enjoy, be, um, don't harm, do no harm, like very simple things. And if I stick to that, that's all that really matters. It doesn't really matter if I know who's God, what's God, or how many planets are in this solar, you know what I mean? How many
yeah.
galaxies in the universe and how many dimensions or all that.
I
It doesn't
feel
really
like with what you just said, Jimmy, the way it lands in me is kind of like the energy of it feels very human to me and grounded and as opposed to like the cosmic exploration, which we're often doing here in these dialogues. We're having a philosophical conversation that's exploring the far reaches of whatever. I don't even know what we're exploring. um, but it's possible to kind of get lost in that, um, or less connected to a grounded kind of human simplicity of life that you're talking about, just connecting with people through the heart and enjoying the ordinary activities of our daily life, of cooking a meal, you
mm-hmm.
know, eat the meal, you know,
Mm.
take a shower, uh, go outside, breathe the fresh air, and so that's kind of coming down from the, which I love too, by the way. I mean, I love it so much, so much. The cosmic exploration with the mind and into these amazing philosophies, but also balancing out that with coming down into the
Mm.
ordinary and the human and the heartful. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I really love that. I love like the meal example too, right? Because the meal is so grounding. Like we're in bodies where we need to nourish them.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's such a simple thing, and just to keep our focus on, I think that's a big thing for me too, is like, um when I'm caught up in there, it's like
Mm,
I'm less focused on my body, and my
mm,
body
mm.
is like what's really close to me. It's what's really present, you know and yeah, taking care of our body, simple nourishment, cleaning ourselves, feeding ourselves, yeah, loving the body, loving ourselves.
wearing clothes that we're comfortable in, is one that's
Mm-hmm.
been resonating with me uh, more. And I like it when I see someone like where they seem like comfortable in their skin, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think my parents used to say that to me when I was younger, and I didn't know what it meant, so I was like,
Mm.
whatever.
Be
But
comfortable in your skin. Yeah.
comfortable in your skin, I feel like it's like, yeah, you're settled in your body, and you're enjoying maybe the feeling of clothes on your skin, and just the immediate sensations of wherever you are, you know, which is
Yeah.
presence.
It's presence. And I love that. And I think that what we're talking about here is really just the importance of, um, I guess for me, acknowledging that what is most important is what is my responsibilities in this human realm, you know?
Mm,
I think I've spent a lot of time avoiding my responsibilities in this place and in my life, in my experience, um, by searching like the cosmos for something else or a different experience. Like there was a point in my life where I was like, man, I'm just here in this limited realm. I think a lot of people on the spiritual path go through that experience too. Like, oh, I'm just limited by the body, limited by by this world, and I just want to go into the spirit realms and experience the spirit realms. And I think part of acknowledging that we don't really know anything, like we don't really know anything until we're experiencing it. I think part of acknowledging that for me is knowing that I may not know anything besides this human realm for my entire existence. I don't understand what this universe is. I don't know. I haven't experienced anything. This lifetime, this body, I don't have memories. I don't have memories of being, you know, I might have resonancies or relate to being like in the cosmos or in the universe or whatever in the spirit realms, but I don't know that. I don't know if I'm ever going to experience something that isn't being in this body.
mm,
And to acknowledge that and just surrender to that I don't know is, I think, humbling for me. And I think it also refocuses me. It puts me centered at like, well, if this is all I'm going to experience for my entire life, then that's really playing this realm. That's really like be here and
yeah.
experience human life and experience, writing and playing music or video games or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, yeah. Something I'd like to talk about, Jimmy, is the the dance and the balance between concepts and the part of us that doesn't know, what you're talking about. And so, okay, we'll go back into the philosophical here for a while.
Yeah, because we still love it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
love it a lot. Um, but yeah, I practiced Zen for a while at Zen Center here in Lawrence, and uh, I think you could say it's their main teaching. They call it "Don't Know Mind," "Don't Know Mind," um, and it's difficult to communicate what it is with concepts because it's not conceptual, you know. But it's like if you could take away all your concepts and just perceive with immediacy, just right here, right now, just look, just see, don't think. You'd be in don't know mind. If you could really do it, if you could just see through no filters, that'd be don't know mind. And that's kind
Mm.
of at the um, basic or fundamental level for all of us is even though we entertain and use all these different concepts, underneath all that is that don't know mind. And it's still there no matter how many concepts you play with. Um, and I think what I found is that's always there, and there's a wisdom in coming back to that and perceiving from the end. In that Zen tradition, they really make a point of practicing that often. It's the undercurrent of their life. You know what I'm saying? So they really make a point of it. Um, but also we have concepts, and they even acknowledge this in Zen. We need our concepts. We need our concepts to, like, we couldn't build, rocket ships and computers and all this stuff without concepts. But even at a but even like not even at that level of building like advanced technologies, we need concepts to kind of organize our life, to communicate with each other, to get things done, and even for kind of uh,
Mm.
guidance on the spiritual journey. I think it's like, and here's what I wanted to get to, Jimmy, was it's as if in me there's almost like a guiding intelligence that knows that the concepts are useful, and that's why it continues to use them. It's like if no part of me felt that the concepts were useful, then I'd just be like, oh, I'm going to throw them all away, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But there is a kind of a wisdom inside, like a guiding kind of wisdom that knows that they are useful, even though we can also become lost in them, and even though we can also become deluded by believing in concepts, they're useful too. And so we have to kind of find a balance between part of us that doesn't know anything and it's not conceptual, and then using the concepts because for what they're useful for.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love it. Yeah, I get that the concepts are tools to navigate and maneuver through our experience of life. And even like I was reflecting on like music, right? Even like music theory is all a concept, but it still is supportive to actually making music. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
effective.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, and in storytelling or book writing, right? There's concepts to how to write a strong, entertaining, enjoyable story for
Mm-hmm.
for another human mind to read, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's concepts there. Um, Cooking, there's concepts, and so there's concepts everywhere that are in every area and branch of our human life that are practical and supportive. And I think what's important, right, is not getting attached to any concepts, not getting attached to any particular ones, and realizing that probably every concept we experience on this planet is distorted in some way, shape, or form from the truth,
Hmm.
And even like I think of music. Let's take music theory for example. There's a lot of musicians out there who don't want to learn music theory because they think it will distort their ability to create music.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Right? Like when you think of the Beatles, like John Lennon, and he didn't know music theory. He knew very very little music theory, and he was
Right.
an extraordinary musician. He changed the world of music.
Yeah.
And so it's I think that what it comes back to is concepts are useful, and which ones do you actually need? Like, do I need to be putting thought time and energy into the concepts of, gosh, who will I be when I'm a fifth density experience of
Mm-hmm.
beingness?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I need to waste my time there? Do I?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fun for me, but does it get me anywhere? Does it move my energy? Does it actually inspire me to be something? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that certain personalities will play more with concepts and use them more. Like I think of Joe Dispenza, for example, is someone. He's a spiritual teacher, and he teaches the creation teachings, the manifestation teachings, which we were talking about in our last videos. Um, he teaches that, and I remember listening to his audiobook one time, and he was like, he was talking about how he spends a lot of time refining concepts, you know and what's so beautiful, I think, about that is he's turned it into this amazing teaching. I mean, you know yeah, people are literally having physical healing of their bodies doing his meditations, going to his events, and feeling so much better than they felt before doing his practices and going on retreats with him, right? So I mean, their lives are just improving by huge amounts, and that goes back to the work that he's doing with concepts. His journey was like inventing this new kind of spiritual science, that he did with concept, and I feel like that's his journey. It's perfect for perfect for him. And for the people who resonate with that and they're drawn to his events, it's perfect for them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
But somebody else, like I feel like he's kind of a scientist personality though, and some people are they're supposed to be scientists, or they're
yeah.
supposed to be philosophers, and so they're
Mm,
going to feel more drawn to the concepts, and they're probably going to write great books
yeah.
or create new teachings with those concepts. And then other people um, are going to not be as drawn to the concepts because that's not their personality.
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, it's like the entire experience of life is most likely derived out of concepts, and we're just trying to understand concept. Like we live off of concepts,
mm,
you know. We just do like we beliefs, concepts, beliefs, whatever you want to call them. Like that's actually what creates our reality in some way, shapes, and form. And so it's really important to be putting concepts out there and different concepts. And I
yeah,
guess for me, and it's interesting because even as we're talking about this, we're talking about the concept of concepts. Like
yeah.
concepts itself is a concept, you
We're
know.
taking a meta step kind of backwards out of concepts and having a conceptual discussion about concepts.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Which is just weird, right? Like it's weird that that's a thing. And I think for me, what's happening for me is like, oh man, at some point, where do I just draw the line and go? Like, I love this stuff, you know. I'm gonna do it for
Yeah,
the rest of my life
yeah,
because it's what I do. But I'm playing, almost playing like another side of myself that I want to give myself more space to just love, like
yeah.
just love my experience, just love my moment, just sit down and like love the music I'm writing, to love the people I'm with, to
Mm,
not feel like I have to. I said for a long time, I started having this experience where like I'd get around my tribe, my friends, and what would happen is like we would just hang out and like talk, and we'd have self-realization, talk philosophy and all these
yeah,
things,
yeah,
which is like great. It's wonderful. And at some point I just had a switch flip though, where it's like I'm kind of tired of doing that. Like I want to do
yeah,
something deeper with my tribe. I want to do
yeah,
something
yeah,
more
yeah.
meaningful and impactful. Like I want to serve with my tribe. I want to love others with my tribe. Like
Hmm.
there's a layer of just at some point it's not as exciting for me to philosophize or conceptualize.
I've felt that too. I felt that before. I really resonate with that, and I feel like when we're dealing with concepts, we're kind of up here in the mind, right? And what you're talking about, like when you want to just be connected with your friends, that's the heart,
Hmm.
that's here. It's like I want to feel more of my heart because when my all my energy is up here, there's not as much going here in the heart or down into my body, and then we just want to get more connected with those parts of us. And I feel like another aspect of it too is like when we get the concepts, when we understand uh, something, then eventually that sorry, touch my mic here, but that wants to be embodied. We want to live like you were talking about. Like I want to serve with my tribe. Like that was probably one of the things I would guess you guys talked about is service, right? But it's like I don't just want to talk about service. I want to be of service, so it's like those insights that we have, they want to come down, you know
Hmm.
they want to come down and like not just be this intangible like realization that I had, but like now it comes down and it's what I live,
Hmm.
it's what I live.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I live. I live that experience. And I think I really want that. Like one of the areas in my life that I really want that in is creativity. Like I want to live creativity, much more than I've been living it. Like I had an experience in Hawaii where um, by the way, for our listeners, I was in Hawaii for the past 2 months and I'm back in the mainland now in
He's
Illinois.
back.
I'm back. And I made some really good friends there, and two of our new best friends that we made there. Uh, we one of our first hangout times, we came together to create vision boards, and very rarely in my life have I sat down to just create with a group of people.
Mm.
And there was like six of us there hanging out, all just like we ate a meal together, shared a meal, and then we just created vision boards, and we were like still talking and chatting and listening to music, but there was this like group creative project, and it was so enlivening for me. I was having
Mm,
so much fun. I felt so in love with life, in love with my project, in love with the process of just creating something artistic with friends. And I very rarely did that in my life. I haven't done much of that in my experience. Um, and I just want more of that. I'm like, wow, this is so much fun to play and create and to vibe and bond with my friends in a way that
mhm.
is more than just vibing on this like mind level of
Yeah,
sharing concepts and beliefs back and forth.
yeah, yeah,
It felt heartfelt, like we were all
yeah.
like in this heartfelt creative space together, and the container, the energy was totally different. It was a total different vibe, and I loved it, and I
Hmm.
want more of that in my life personally.
Yeah, yeah, that resonates with me. And I feel like this thing happens where it's like it's almost like we get tired out here, like you're talking about, right? It's like a talk, 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 concept, 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 and
It's
then we get tired.
exhausting.
Yeah, you get tired out on that, and then we want to come down. Okay, okay, want to connect through the heart, want to be embodied. Just do the like we were talking about at the beginning of the video, simple. Keep it simple, and just feel your environment, and be with the people that you're with. Um, and I feel like if that goes on for a long enough, it's like you're not done here. You know what I'm saying? It's like those kind of experiences when your heart opens up, and then when you're living what you've realized, like that then opens your mind again. You know what I'm saying? You have more experiences, and then those experiences inspire new realizations. Like this lights up again. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I see something new. And then that wants to come down, and it's almost like this um like a feedback loop or something like that, where it's like this lights up and then it comes down and then, oh, I have some of that and that feels good. The
Hmm.
love and the connection and the embodying it, and then back up into um more, new insight, new realization, and it
Yeah.
keeps going, you know?
Yeah, it does keep, and I think this really relates to something that's been really present for me in life, right? Is that sometimes I'll have great ideas that will come through here for like projects. You know what I mean? Not like beyond philosophical ideas, like ideas to actually create a service filled project, like those kind of ideas of inspiration, of like, wow, I could actually create that and serve humanity with that idea. Um, and I feel like what will happen often is I'll have that and then I'll talk about it. And as I'm talking about it, it's just staying here. And it's
Yeah.
like kind of scattering itself at that point. And it's like, and then the idea eventually just like kind of fades away. And nothing ever really happens with it a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Now, some ideas. And what I'm coming to is like, what's happening for me is more and more I'm having ideas. And instead of just talking about it and leaving it here, I'm
Mhm.
actually staying silent. So that way it can come here.
Mhm.
So that way it
Come
can come
down,
from here down
down.
rather than just like scatter and keep. It's like that's what talking about it seems to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm having these ideas and then I'm letting it come down and then I'm actually doing it. I'm actually taking action on these ideas now.
I love that. Yeah, one thing I'd be interested to hear if you have any thoughts on, Jimmy, is because I'll get stuck there too of like I have the inspiration and it occurs as an idea. It's also a feeling too, like feeling inspired. But it's like I'm trying to
Mhm.
get down to the action, or there's an energy that wants to bring it down and create something like you're talking. Maybe it's music or a story for me, and
Mhm.
have that kind of inspiration. And so it wants to come down and take a tangible form. And I feel like when I think about feeling the insights here in the head and then bring that down into the gut and the body, like the action level, what's between those is again the heart. So one thing that has occurred to me before is I feel like we can almost love ourselves into taking action on our inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like if the
Yeah.
heart is what connects the head and the body, then maybe we can kind of take that insight or that inspiration that's up here and kind of weave it with love into creating something new, or being some new kind of way, you know?
Yeah, yeah, to let the heart really do um, some genuine weaving of the experience of mind in action, and to create a new experience for ourselves. It's
Mm-hmm.
like giving that heart that core role of, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what, we're actually going to put our main focus on the heart. And we're going to love the moment. We're going to love the thoughts. We're going to love the actions. We're going to love everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to feel it with our heart. We're going to receive it with our heart. And our heart will tell us if it's true for us, if it's real for us, or whatever. And from that, I get that it creates a constantly new experience for the mind and a new
Mm-hmm.
experience for the actions. And
Mm-hmm.
there's just a always rotating experience when we're letting the mind be this genuine connector of mind and body,
Mm-hmm.
and our practical and
Or
inspiring.
letting the heart be the, like you were saying, the heart, let the heart be the connector of the mind and the body, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm thinking of Joe Dispenza. He says, knowledge is for the mind, experience is for the body. And, we have to have both. We have to have both. And uh, I, I feel like maybe, and again, I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this, but I feel like what's under our conversation is what we're being guided to is a kind of wholeness, because it's like we just sense, we have an intuition of when we're too much up here.
Yeah.
It's like I need to come down. But then also sometimes we have an intuition of, oh, I need to look at that a little bit differently, or maybe we have an intuition of, my perspective isn't totally accurate about that, which is shifting at the mind level.
Mhm.
So we need all these aspects of us, and it's almost like we're being guided towards including all of them, and integrating them into this wholeness.
Yeah, to create a bigger picture of 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 being connected with all parts of ourselves, and not letting one part be overconsumed by the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are experience junkies too. They're not really thinking, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
generating experience after experience and
Mm-hmm. Yep.
success after success, but there's no real like consideration of or
Yeah.
self-realization happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you can just go through experiences like that, just keep going, keep going, keep going. But you have to, in order to kind of optimize your life, you have to take a step back out of the experience and reflect on what's happening and try and understand things. And then you can get stuck there and trying to understand too much, and just endless reflection. And then you have to step back into more, have more experiences, and kind of find the balance point between
Balance point.
those two.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, just presently in my life, I feel I have a lot of knowledge. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
done a lot of thinking. I have a decent understanding and grasp on what my reality is, at least as far as I feel like I need to. Um, and what I want personally more of is the experience of creating things, the experience of creating service projects, artistic projects, creative projects, like whatever. That's just what I'm craving, honestly. And
Yeah.
it's self-loving to give that to myself. And it's also challenging for me because I'm so used to the paradigm of just think about it. Just
Yeah.
talk the talk, don't walk the walk. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been feeling more lately that we each have a timing to the unfolding of our journey. And I think we often think that I should be to the final goal, you know, uh, at my present moment. I should be living the life of my dreams. But I think that we're given those dreams to, um, where if we got there like right away, then we would have nothing else to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think I think we're exactly where we're meant to be. We're exactly where we're supposed to be. If we could just see from a uh, bigger picture lens, we'd understand that you're right where you're supposed to be, and there are certain processes that you're supposed to go through on the way to get to what you really want. and how you want to be, and how healed you want to be, and how conscious, and all that stuff. But I think our egos just want to be just want it to be here as soon as possible, and our souls know a deeper wisdom of it happens over a period of time. It might
Mhm.
seem like a long time from the ego's point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, and surrendering to that and letting that be.
Mm-hmm.
And loving that, loving the process in every moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Paul, this feels pretty concrete to me. I think we've talked a lot about
Oh yeah.
what it means to be. I feel like we just conceptualized a bunch of things, like I hope people get the gist of what we're really communicating here, because I think we're still trying to like conceptualize and philosophize an idea,
Mm-hmm.
because here we are talking,
Well, that's
No.
the first way we get it, is first we get it conceptually,
Mhm.
and then it becomes our experience eventually, if we're sincere about
Sincere.
going in that direction. Yeah, but first we have to get it here.
Yeah,
Um,
and then we can try it on. It's like getting a new wardrobe, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna put on that hat or those clothes.
hmm And if it doesn't resonate, then just throw it away. It's not
Or
really for
bring
you.
it to Goodwill.
Yeah,
Bring the outfit to Goodwill.
Salvation Army.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe somebody else can use this.
um, but yeah, no, I feel like we're have a discussion about it kind of paves the way um, to living it.
To living it.
Yeah.
Uh, well, thank you, Paul, for a great day and another great into form.
Yes.
And
Like-
thank you, listeners, for being here and experiencing with us, genuinely experiencing with us. And I bless you. I pray that everybody gets to really take get out of their mind today and just come into their heart and bless their lives with love, bless the ones they love with love, and to just truly radiate and shine in the glory of existing, the glory of experiencing life.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a ordinary glory. Ordinary moments can be very beautiful.
Yeah, and to be present with that gratitude.
Okay, well, see ya. Love you.